Hey, Blue Table fans! Today we are taking a look at a Death Korps of Krieg army. Oh! That's some theme music I'm working on for the event. So here's your panoramic. Got right around 10 vehicles, whole bunch of carriages, like 100 infantry, bunch of Death Korps riders. This is the dream army, guys. This is the one. So now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and lower the camera, and we are just going to take a look at some individual units and pieces. It's going to be fantastical. So again, guys, and by the way, this isn't even everything. I am very likely to be able to do a finished product. And like when the second part of this is done, I think I will be able to get a video of that as well. All right, so let's go ahead and just zoom in. And I'm going to take my time with the focus and everything, because the last video I did, it was out of focus. All right, that looks right to me, because I'm seeing it on this tiny little screen. So here's the deal. The infantry are, for Death Korps, from Forge World, there's 3 different sets that you can buy. You can buy a regular set where the guys are, you know, like this guy here. Like he's just pointing his gun. And then you can buy another set that's advancing. So that's like this other guy. He's running along. And then there's a third type of set that you can buy, which is called At Ease, and that's like this guy right here. He's just sort of standing there. He's having a good time. And between them, you can get a lot of really great variation in your Death Korps of Krieg army. There we go. That looks like it's focused to me. There we go. You got to remember, I'm looking at this tiny little screen on the back of the camera, and I have to sort of work things out from that. So anyway, so yeah, there's like a zillion different infantry, and let's go ahead and just move these guys aside. And the bases, these are secret weapon bases, and they are from secretweaponminiatures.com. And so I bought some Trenchworks bases. Let's take a look at how those look. We've got a command squad over here that has those. Now, in our little fantasy world, we did it so that the command, who we imagined would be back behind the lines, we did more of those on the Trenchworks bases. And then the guys are on, I do believe it's called Urban Rubble or Urban Debris, and then we had a Scrapyard as well. So generally, this army has a wide variety, like almost every model is unique somehow. And we bought upgrade kits for equipment, so the guys have lots of packs and shovels and all sorts of little details on them. So this is a captain or whatever. You like that? I'm not familiar with this exact army list, by the way. And here we have a commissar figure. Let's see if I can focus in on him. Nope, this is as far as it's going to go. So anyway, we have a commissar here. And by the way, if this video is not in focus, I'm going to completely redo it. I'm not taking these guys down till I'm certain that it's right. All right, let's keep going. We have a lot of ground to cover. Then we have weapon teams, and for these we built up these little sandbag barriers on them, and you can see there's a little bit of variation here. And yeah, so and it's just that this model set, this range from Forge World is so amazing. Like there is so much to them, absolutely, just so much little details. And they are not easy to put together. They have lots of little tiny itty-bitty resin pieces. It's extremely time-consuming to get these guys together. There we go. That seems right. Okay, let's swoosh those aside. Now let's take a look at some of these guns and crew that you saw in the background. So we have a mortar, then we have a quad thud gun, and the crew are just phenomenal for these things. Oh my gosh, so cool. We're gonna go ahead and just focus a little bit on those. All right, we're at about the 5-minute mark. That's looking good. So these are super muddy. They have lots of weathering on them, blackened marks for, you know, where the muzzles have deposits on them from use. I just love the crew here. And in fact, in this army, each guy has so much detail, both on the base and, of course, equipment. There's just so much, like, little narratives on here. You know, this guy he's not taking very good care of his gun. He's just left it on the base there. So there's those guys. Those are the heavy weapon carriages. Now originally we were just going to make them into one base and put them as one giant thing, but in the end we decided not to do that. We decided to have them separate because the bases would have had to have been very unwieldy. And quite frankly, if this is played on terrain, it's going to be better to have the pieces not on bases because they'll be a lot more flexible with the terrain. So these Medusa siege guns have, I mean, the crew on these guys is so detailed. Here's my favorite one. Here's oh no, you can't even see him in the frame. He's got like a giant, he's carrying this giant missile like it's nothing. He's like, my back muscles are very strong. That's the accent these guys talk in, by the way. And this guy's got like a shake weight or something. He's having a good time with that. Again, boy, I am really trying to work this focus and see if I can make sure that it's crisp for you guys. So anyway, tons of detail on this mortar. It just, like, it has a breech hatch that's open. This thing goes up and down. Just so much details. These things go back and forth, these sort of emplacements. In fact, this, I don't know if it will on this one. Yeah, there you go. It actually goes together like that. And then there's, like, you know, in the game world there'd be a pin and you'd be able to tractor that around. So these guys, this is a dream army. To own a Death Korps of Krieg army, and especially to have so many pieces and have them all painted up, is just an absolute luxury. I mean, it is really cool. Here's a guy with like a, is that all the farther it goes in? Yeah, that's it. He has some sort of weird periscope on him. It's a lot of fun. So, all right, and then here's the Centaur Centaur tractors, I think they're called. Let's get a couple of those in there. And again, just so much detail on these models, so many fine working parts. Just to assemble them is like a giant project. I mean, because these come in like 28 different pieces. They're so small. So yeah, you got the guys inside there just resting there, kind of bebopping along. And they look really cool. You have some blackening from the exhaust there. Just makes me happy just to look at this. Man, we really got to get a game in with this. All right, now dessert. We're going to look at some of these tanks. In fact, let me pull back a little bit. Now, there is a decal set that comes along with this. The client was tracking those down. We're still going to add them and then re-weather on top of that. But we do have some, I do believe, hand-done numbers on there. And also there's little tank names on the scroll work there. And yeah, definitely a lot to these guys. This is a Medusa. This thing goes up and down. I mean, I gotta tell you, this is such, here, I'm trying to make sure the focus is right. On the little screen, it always looks good. All right, so there's 3 of those. We have some Lehmann Russes, Lehmann Russi. I think these have Vanquisher cannons on them. And it used to be that, what?
Lehmann Russ translates to lover's dessert, so those tanks are actually translates to lover's dessert.
Okay, thank you very much. It's like, oh, what a cute Primark. Okay, so anyway, thank you for pointing that out. So yeah, just so much on these. I mean, the Death Corps gunner, the stubber, there's specialty weapons all around. Only the very chassis is plastic. Now these are magnetized, so the sponsons are magnetized. And so there's a magnet on the interior, and then there's a similar magnet that's glued on the interior of that, so they just fit on really nice. And all these weapons, these are pegged quite nicely. As you can see, it takes a little bit of pull to get them in and out, which is absolutely perfect. So they work really, really well. And there's tons of magnetized parts on these. They're those are separate. I'm not going to show those to you right now. Anyway, and then you have these trench rails. Oh my gosh, was that out of focus that whole time? All right, guys, I'm really working on it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so the scrubbers, the hostile environment scrubbers, the trench rails, those all come standard in these tank upgrade kits. And then let's get a Ryza pattern tank on here. I do believe that's what this is called. Just checking my focus here. That looks right. And again, just loads and loads of resin on this. The equipment on the back, the trench rails, the gunner, the stubber, the weapon, of course. In fact, I think the whole turret on this is done up. So that's just, it's looking really good. What an absolute pleasure. Okay, now we have a Hades breaching drill. And by the way, I might get really loud as I reach across there, and that's because I'm getting like closer to the microphone. All right, I'm getting a flashing from the camera. I think I'm coming up on the maximum time for a non-split video. We shall see. There we go. So Hades breaching drill. These things are amazing. They in the game, I do believe they deep strike guys, so this is really a good thing to have. And there's like